Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Niagara University's Summer Open House. We're very excited to have you with us here today. My name is Trevor Howell, and I'm a rising sophomore sport management and luxury hospitality operations major from Clarence, New York. I have the pleasure of serving as today's host for today's interactive program. Now, we're going to offer you something a little different than your traditional open house and give you a true glimpse into what sets Niagara University apart from other colleges and universities. Our primary goal this morning is to help you answer one important question at this point in your college search process. Why Niagara University? We have an incredible lineup of panelists ready to offer you a snapshot of their Niagara stories, and then we'll turn it over to you for a live Q&A session. You'll also have an opportunity to get familiar with a number of campus offices here on campus through a self-virtual table talk. Before we get started, I want to go over a couple of items with you so we can make this the best possible experience for you. Our session is being recorded, so you'll have an opportunity to rewatch it to catch anything you may have missed. I would like to ask anyone who is not speaking to please mute your microphone to avoid any background noise. As soon as you can, please comment in the chat section with your name and high school. We value relationships very much here at NU, and we'd like to get a better sense of who's online with us today. Since we plan to dedicate plenty of today's program to answering your questions, please feel free to begin typing your questions into the chat section as early as you like. We'll answer as many as we can in just a little while. Now that all that's out of the way, let's get on with the program. Our first special guest today is our esteemed president, Father James Marr. One thing I can tell you through my experience at Niagara University is, for sure, no matter how many colleges you will tour, you will not find a place where the people will care about your success and well-being as much as they do here at Niagara University. That culture of care starts with Father Marr. And unlike many institutions, our president will know you by name, and he makes it a priority to develop a relationship with you. It is my honor to ask Father Marr to be the person to answer our question of the day. Why Niagara? Father?
Good morning, Trevor, and good morning, everybody from Niagara, and to our students who are on the call. I'm delighted to be here with you, and thank you for your interest in Niagara University. Last summer, I had the chance usually to visit with good friends who have young children, and the kids always want on vacation. They want to go to the movies. So I go along and eat the popcorn and some of the candy. And so we went to see the movie Aladdin, 2019 remake of the original. And Will Smith, one of my favorite actors, is in the movie as the genie. And, as you know from these stories, the genie emerges from the bottle and offers 3 wishes to whoever rubs the bottle and gets him out. And they really are, it's a great story about, as we think about genies and movies we've seen, is, how do people manage those 3 wishes? In most of the stories, people mismanage them. Either they aim too high, or they aim too low, or they don't know exactly what they truly want and need for their lives. And it's interesting, as I think about why Niagara University, and I say this often to students, that I'm not a genie, I don't live in a bottle, but I think what I can say to you is we have 3, what I like to refer to as lifetime, lifelong, and eternal gifts that we can offer to you. And we speak about that regularly. Confidence, and a real confidence that as you grow through your Niagara experience, you take the things that you bring with you from your family and your high school and your friends and your life experience, and you continue to develop them, and you become even more confident. And a confidence that really is, it's not a cockiness, it's not a false bravado, it's a person who looks you in the eye, as I find with so many Niagara students, and they know who they are. That's a great gift to have in life, to be able to go through life and know who you are. Second, you will receive the gift at Niagara of clarity of direction. You'll not only know who you are, but you'll know where you're going in life. Isn't that a great gift, right? So many people in life are lost. They're not sure where they're going. They're, subsumed in the crisis of the moment, um, or other of life's challenges. Um, but you will know that at Niagara University through our career services, through your engagement with our faculty, through your studies, through our incredibly caring campus community that wraps academic, social, personal, spiritual support around you when you become our student at Niagara University. And third, um, you will have a heightened sense of purpose. You will not only know who you are, where you're going, but you'll answer the question that's probably among the most critical in life: why? Why? Stephen Covey, the great late great author of the 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, writes, "Isn't it a tragedy when people climb the ladder of success and life only to find out that it was stacked against the wrong wall?" Um, you will climb the ladder of success, but it'll be against the right wall. And it'll be aligned with your values, with your spirituality, with all the things in terms of your focus on career development. Let me just offer you a very simple example of how I've met this in person, right? What are the living examples of confidence, clarity of direction, and a heightened sense of purpose? Last year, we had our traditional alumni weekend in October, and we invite, it's close to 500 of our alums back for a weekend around fall weekend. And they come from all parts of the United States and beyond, and they come from every class. But I happened to have lunch with the 50 and 60, if you can believe it, anniversary classes. So they graduated. They were in the spot you were, and they graduated 50 and 60 years ago from Niagara University. And there were 3 students off to the side at the lunch, and they had gotten permission to engage the alumni around their research project, which was really around the field of gerontology. And they were asking the alumni, and a number of the alumni were very willing to do this, to sit with them and answer a questionnaire about their lives, what was most important, and how they looked at life now from this perspective. And I was taken with one of the leaders of the project, Amanda, at that time a sophomore. And I said, "Amanda, boy, she spoke to the group, and I said, you were so impressive in terms of how you handled yourself, and you had such command of this research and the project and explaining it. And I could tell by watching the alumni, they were sort of almost entranced watching her speak." And she said, "Well, thank you." She said, it's just been a great experience at Niagara." And I asked her where she's from, and she said, I'm from Wheatfield, and her other colleagues, student colleagues, one was from Cleveland, one was from Canada. They were really from all over. But she said, "I went to Wheatfield High School, and I came to Niagara, and I've been really, really happy. I'm a double major. I'm a biology and a psychology major." And she looked me in the eye and she said, "And I'm going to be a psychiatrist someday, and I want to work with elderly populations. So this is a great opportunity for me, and it fits with the internships that I've had." That's really what I want to say to you about the table that we set for you at Niagara and the opportunities that you have as students when you come into Niagara. Close to half of our students, by the time they graduate, will have an opportunity as undergraduate students to do research with a faculty member. It could be something like Amanda's research. It could be laboratory research. It could be English literature research. It could be early childhood education research. It could be business research. But that's a wonderful way in which, as an example of how confidence, clarity of direction, and a heightened sense of purpose is really implanted in the environment of Niagara University. What I ask of the students and what I will ask of you is, you have to come to the table. because you know, you've got to rub the genie's bottle in order to get that magic and to be able to get those gifts and those wishes for your life. So we're delighted that you're interested in Niagara. We hope that you will visit the campus in the near future if you haven't done so already. And we would be honored and privileged to call you our students. Thank you, and God bless you and your families.
Thank you for your time and leadership, Father Marr. We're so appreciative of everything that you do for us as students, our staff, and this university. Our next featured panelist is 2019 Niagara University graduate, Cheyenne Freely. Cheyenne earned undergraduate degrees in political science and international studies, and is now studying to become a lawyer at Georgetown Law. Some of you may recognize Cheyenne from TV and billboard ads, and it's my pleasure to put the spotlight back on her to answer our question today. Cheyenne?
Thank you, Trevor, for that introduction, and good morning, everyone. First, I really want to preface by commending all of you for attending today's open house. You know, as a student who myself, I had to also go through online classes this past semester, I understand how difficult it can be to go from an engaging in-person interaction to an online medium. However, your attendance here today demonstrates your dedication to finding a school that fits you and fits your needs. From my own personal experience as a recent graduate of Niagara University, well, I guess not so recent now that it was a year ago, I can tell you that Niagara, with all that it has to offer and its willingness to adapt to student needs, it is dedicated to being that perfect match for a wide array of students. As Trevor previously stated, I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and International Studies, but I also had minors in pre-law and criminal justice. So if any of you are interested in any of those topics, please feel free to chat me or to email me. I'll leave my email in the chat after. But thinking back to my time as a junior in high school and a senior in high school, you know, putting myself in all of your shoes, I remember feeling very overwhelmed. You're getting a ton of emails and mailers from different colleges every day, and you might not even know what you want to do yet, but you're hearing students talk about their double majors and million minors. Niagara, however, stood out. While other colleges present students with their programs and large class sizes, Niagara asks. Readily evident in our amazing academic exploration program, Niagara asks what it can do for you and how it can help you reach your own forms of success. In my own time there, I was presented with so many opportunities that I not only enjoyed, but they helped me succeed during my time at NU and after as well. Given all of these opportunities and the skills that I gained in those opportunities, I was able to get into my first choice law school, and most recently, my first choice summer internship for this summer. With a plethora of academic and extracurricular activities, including moot court, mock trial, and student government, I was prepared for law school in ways that my peers from bigger schools unfortunately were not. The biggest example of this came about this past year. I competed against over 90 other students from a wide array of areas in Georgetown's annual moot court competition. Many of these students came from Ivy League schools as well. Despite the stiff competition, I relied on my experiences in the pre-law program at Niagara and managed to become one of the 4 finalists in the competition. This is a phenomenon not unique to myself. I know of many NU graduates from the pre-law program who are on similar paths to success at their own respective law schools. My best friend and my roommate who I graduated with literally did the exact same thing at UB Law with her trial team. This also isn't a phenomenon unique to the pre-law program by any means, as I know of many other NU students who are succeeding and even outpacing their peers in their respective career fields. I mean, you heard Father Marr talk about Amanda. That's the kind of clarity and sense of direction that you can get by your freshman, sophomore year and just continue that into your career field that you've chosen for yourself. This is the norm that NU can tailor to your experience and to your goals. This whole process of choosing a college can be very overwhelming. Trust me, I've been there and I understand. So what I want you to take from this is what Niagara can offer to you. It's the same thing that it offers to all of its current students and what it has offered to all of its past students. Why Niagara? Because Niagara offers you a customizable and enjoyable college experience that will shape your personhood, guide your clarity and direction, and give you the skills necessary to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cheyenne. It's great to, well, kind of meet the person behind the commercials. Before I turn the mic over to our next guest, I just want to remind you to keep typing those questions in the chat window, and don't forget to add your name and high school. And now I'm very happy to introduce our Yale-educated philosophy professor and honors program director, Dr. Michael Barnwell. Dr. Barnwell, why do you think today's guest should consider NU?
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this morning. I came from Yale, and as Trevor mentioned, and so why Niagara? When I was coming out of Yale, my advisor had these ideas that I would go to what's called the Research One schools. So if you don't know this lingo, some of the bigger schools, they're called Research One, where the faculty there are supposed to focus primarily on research, doing original research, writing books, writing articles. And they're just great people at those schools, those bigger schools that are more focused on research. I went to one, Yale was one of those. A lot of my colleagues were going to schools like that, Johns Hopkins, Princeton, Cornell. But I really didn't want to go to one of those schools to teach, because I really cared about teaching. And there's some good teachers at those Research One schools, don't get me wrong. But for many of them, and I know this for a fact, for many of them, research or teaching is just an afterthought. It's just, well, what we have to do on the side so then we can do our reading and writing and researching as our main job. And for me, I wanted a place where, I couldn't tell my advisor this too much, but I wanted a place where I would interact with students and be with students and get to know them and teach them and still do research. We still do plenty of research at Niagara. But I wanted to focus on teaching, and as soon as I stepped on Niagara's campus, I just knew it was the right place for me. I got along with, I could tell that the faculty were different, my colleagues, I could tell the students were different, the administration was different, everyone was happy to see me. And even though I had another offer from another school for a little bit more money, it really was never a question. Niagara was always going to be where I chose. That was 15 years ago. I've been here 15 years, haven't regretted it for a second. It's a great place. And so when they asked me to do this video or this open house, why Niagara, I started thinking, why Niagara? And I always ask my honors students, Trevor mentioned I was honors program director. I always ask them, I said, why do you choose Niagara? And almost invariably, I get the answer, well, as soon as I stepped on campus, I just knew it was right, or I just knew it was the right feeling. Now, you can imagine as a philosophy professor, if you know what philosophy is, saying something feels right isn't really a good enough answer. We want to know why. Why does something feel right? In fact, going back to Father Marr's statement about having a higher sense of purpose, right? This is one thing you'll get at Niagara. You'll take plenty of philosophy classes with me and others, and we're going to make you ask why over and over. Why do you think that? So I started asking myself, why was Niagara the right fit? What was it about Niagara that made it so different? And I realized it's that people really care about you. People care about the students. People care about making you the best you can be. From the staff, everyone you see in all the different offices, the faculty, the administration, everyone wants to take extra time to be with you, to help you achieve your goals. You're not just a number. Your faculty know your name. Father Marr knows most of the students' names, if not every student. So when you come to Niagara, you really do belong in a community. And I haven't said this in the other open houses, but some of Father Marr's comments made me just remember this. He was speaking about confidence, right? You've probably grown up in your school, get good grades, you need to learn things, you need to have certain competencies, certain abilities, but no one has probably taught you much about confidence. And true confidence, and they didn't talk to me either when I was growing up. I was supposed to make all the good grades, but no one said about having that true purpose and that confidence that comes from knowing certain things. And that's something that you really do get at Niagara, and that's an intangible that you can't be taught, you have to develop, you have to be in the right environment. And I see it over and over. Cheyenne's a great example. I like to think some of her success comes from her intro to philosophy class, perhaps. That was with me. But I've seen it over and over. One student in particular, I remember she came into undergraduate, into college her first year, could hardly look you in the eye, could hardly make a sentence, was very shy. And she left Niagara being the most confident, mature person I've ever met. So this happens over and over, and it's something that is very unique at our school. So That's one reason why Niagara. Another reason why Niagara, and it kind of goes along with that previous one, we're small, we're flexible, we're adaptable, you're able to pursue whatever interests you the most. Even for professors, right? My specialty is medieval philosophy and philosophy of religion, but I developed an interest in how philosophy can be applied in the business world. I was able to teach a class on that. Students are able to find people who share their interests and develop in whatever sense they want to. And finally, Father Marr mentioned the opportunity to do research at Niagara. This is something that doesn't happen at many schools. At many schools, you go to classes, and once you graduate undergraduate school, then if you really are interested, you can go to graduate school and do original research. But at Niagara, you have the chance to do original research right from the beginning. Many students do. And why this is so important is that when you graduate, you'll be applying for jobs and applying for graduate school against students who have gone to other schools, and they're going to have good grades. Everyone's going to have good grades. There was a study, the most commonly given grade in undergraduate is an A. So everyone you compete against will have good grades, and you will have good grades. I'm sure you're hard workers, evidenced by the fact you're here this morning. But what's going to make you different from all those other people with good grades? If you come to Niagara, you've got the chance to have done original research, which they won't have. They will not have had that opportunity to do original research. And you'll be able to talk to employers, you'll be able to talk to graduate school committees and say, look, I've done original research. I'm already knee deep in this field. And so I'm a bit distinctive, and that's going to add to your confidence and your heightened sense of purpose and your clarity of direction. So it's for all those reasons, I think Niagara was definitely the right fit for me. And hopefully it will be for you. If you haven't been to our campus yet, as soon as you step on campus, you'll know it feels right, and you'll know the reason it feels right is because everyone really cares about helping you achieve your goals and achieve that confidence and heightened sense of purpose. So thanks for tuning in this morning, and if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a chat.
Thank you, Dr. Barnwell, for your inspiring words as usual. Our fourth featured panelist today, Jessica Kemp, is, in one word, accomplished. Ms. Kemp holds a bachelor's degree in commerce as well as an MBA, both from Niagara. An outstanding basketball player, she ranks in the top 10 in 5 career categories and was introduced into the Purple Eagles Hall of Fame in 2018. Shortly after graduating, she founded Kemp Financial Group, where she currently serves as president. Ms. Kemp, you know the question, why Niagara?
Okay, thank you, Trevor, and welcome everyone. I so wish that we were doing this in person. It's so much better to have that personal touch, but for now, this will have to do. So as Trevor mentioned, I graduated from Niagara with my MBA. I did my undergrad degree there as well in business, played basketball there, and now I have my own business. And I must say, there's so many reasons why I chose Niagara. But the biggest one I'm thinking of right now is the impact that it made on my life. So I think when we're choosing a university is a big deal. As you guys know, it's stressful, so many questions. Will I make the wrong decision? And when you're in this process of finding a university, really think of that university that's going to make an impact on your life. And what does impact mean? So for me, I wanted to have a university experience where when I left, I still had a passion for the university. And as you can see, I mean, I graduated back in 2004, and here I am today. I'm still very much involved in the university, and that's just because it created such an impact in my life. I am the president of my business right now, and I don't think I would be if it wasn't for my experience there in Niagara. I have to also say I'm Canadian, so for any international students that are here, please reach out to chat with me about, being an international student at Niagara. I'm a little biased because I'm from Niagara Falls, Canada, but the location of the university is pretty amazing. If we look at all the surroundings that we have at Niagara, it's pretty cool. We are located in a pretty beautiful part of the world, so that helps when you're coming to campus. And I want to say to the one-on-one, like you look at Cheyenne, congratulations for being a finalist in that competition. That's awesome. And I can totally agree with that. Niagara has a big part of that. And I think it's because of the one-on-one real life experiences you get at Niagara. that you wouldn't get at the larger universities. So that gives us that one up when you're competing against other students. And I want to say life skills. I mean, you guys being in class, getting your A's or your B's and studying, that's important. But at the end of the day, having solid life skills is very important in the afterworld, after university. And that's what Niagara did for me. It really gave me the confidence, as people have said today, to make an impact after university in my career now. So those things I feel are very important, and that's exactly what Niagara gave to me. So if you have any questions about the business department, athletics at Niagara, you're going to hear from Coach Paulus next, who's a very enthusiastic coach, and we're lucky to have him. Any questions about being an international student, anything about the location, please reach out to me on the chat or directly on my email. And I really hope to see you guys on campus next year.
Thank you, Ms. Kemp. It's so encouraging to see the great things that Niagara University graduates achieve on both sides of the border and across the globe. Our final featured panelist may just be the most popular person on campus right now. Well, that's with all due respect to Father Marr. In his first year as men's basketball coach, Coach Paulus successfully advanced the Niagara tradition of excellence both on and off the court. The former Duke point guard and Syracuse quarterback was named the top first-year coach in NCAA Division I college basketball in March. Coach Paulus, please tell us what you've seen during your first year here at NU.
Thanks for having me, and awesome to be with everybody on the call this morning. You know, one of the things that I've had the opportunity to not only experience in my first year here, but also what we talk about each day with our team on campus is how special Niagara is. And you hear some of these stories, and you just heard a couple today, and it's absolutely incredible, not only what our students have done, not only during their 4 years, but well beyond that as well. And so to have the opportunity to be a part of that is really special. You know, you're going to hear and see the beautiful campus, the terrific academics, the environment to help you become your best. You know, to kind of summarize it for me would be to use 3 words here. The first one being commitment. There is a tremendous commitment to the people, to the students, to the faculty on campus, to not only help you become your best self, but really to hone in on those skills, develop and grow throughout your 4 years that will help you have success afterwards. This is seen every single day from Father Marr all the way down to each student on campus. And it's really fun to be a part of. And I think that one of the other things is there's a commitment to helping you find your passion and helping you learn what that may be, and then teaching you how to develop that. Another word that I would use would be care. There is the people on campus and the people associated with Niagara have done some tremendous things, but their passion, their desire is to help other people. And when you hear the stories, when you see the impact that they've had, not only on our students, but when they're done, looking back on it and what that was like, I think that's why Niagara. This is from faculty to students. This is from students to students, coaches to students. And that's not something that you find at each college or university. So whatever your passion is, there is going to be a commitment and a care to help you search and find opportunities for that. And the last thing is that there's a connection. When you have commitment, care, and terrific people, there's going to be a connection. And it's difficult to feel that connection through a Zoom call. But when you come to campus and you see how beautiful the campus is and how there's a tradition and such excellence in the academics, you're going to feel that connection with the people. And through my experiences at Niagara and other places, that is something that is really, really special and something that I wanted to be a part of. The greater the connection, the greater your experience is going to be, and therefore you're going to have an amazing experience and a lot of fun at your time at Niagara. So for me, as I've traveled, whether it's recruiting or games, whenever I have that Niagara logo on, or I tell the people I'm speaking with, hey, I work at Niagara, this is home. there's a great deal of not only pride, but the amount of people that you can connect with, the amount of people that are familiar with Niagara and have some sort of affiliation to it. I can truly feel the pride from those people as well. So I really appreciate the opportunity to not only be a part of this call, but to have you on. And we can't wait to see you when the opportunity comes to come to campus, because not only will you continue to learn about the excellence of Niagara, but you'll have a chance to feel the commitment, the care, and connection with the people as well.
Thank you, Coach Paulus. We appreciate your insight, and we can't wait for the basketball season ahead of us. A very special thanks to all of our featured panel members for joining us today and sharing their perspectives of Niagara University. We'll pick up the pace a little bit for the remainder of our program while still presenting you with plenty of information about academics, admissions, and financial aid. As you heard from our panel, a pillar of Niagara University's experience is academic excellence. So that seems like a good place to move on to right now. Joining us next is our provost, Dr. Tim Ireland. Dr. Ireland, many institutions claim that the student-faculty relationship at their college is the best, but technically only one can actually be number one. Please explain to our guests what I already know, that Niagara University is the best when it comes to student-faculty interactions.
Hey, Trevor, how are you today?
I am doing fine and dandy. Happy to be here.
Look, man, you're totally big timing me with your background.
Oh, thank you. I chose the most academic room in my house. I feel very fancy.
It is incredibly academic, my friend. So my next open house, I'm going to shift over to my bookshelf so I can look as impressive as you.
I like it. I like it.
Why NU? I think the people you've heard from already today, alumni, Father Marr, Greg Paulus, faculty with Dr. Barnwell. It's really hard for me to top the comments that they've already provided you. But I'll give you a couple things I think that are important and define us as an institution. One is in each of our panelists to date have spoken about the incredible relationships that form between the faculty and the students at Niagara. And the only thing I can do is reaffirm that. I was a faculty member in the classroom for 17 years before I moved into what would be called administration and higher ed. And I still have students reaching out to me, checking in. I know I've met spouses, I've met children, I've followed careers. And so the relationships that form on Mount Eagle Ridge in that 4-year window when you're here persist throughout a lifetime. I just had a former student of mine reach out to me, Kenny Agee. He's with the Buffalo PD, incredibly successful young man from Niagara Falls. We run a nationally recognized program here to train first responders in disability awareness training to make sure that first responders properly interact with individuals with disabilities. And Ken was reaching out to ask me how he gets that program at the Buffalo PD. No hesitation with who he is, no hesitation with understanding what his career trajectory has been, and he graduated about 15 years ago. And so those are the relationships that form at NU. And I'll tell you what, those relationships are not going to happen in lecture halls with 500 students. A lot of schools around the country have decided to go to really big lecture halls, right, as a cost savings initiative. And we simply do not do that here. The faculty to student ratio at Niagara University is 11 to 1. We've made a very serious commitment to making sure that our classes remain relatively small. I think the largest classroom experience you would have in Niagara is about 40 students. And as you move into your area of specialization, you'll see that these class sizes shrink. And so in some instances in your senior year here, you may be one of 5 or 6 students taking a class with a highly motivated faculty member discussing in-depth topics of interest to both the faculty and the students enrolled in that class. You're going to have opportunities to engage in research here if you want. There's a big difference between a teacher in high school and a teacher in college. And one of those primary differences is the obligation of the teachers in college, not only to teach you, to disseminate ideas, but their obligation to generate new ideas, build on the knowledge base. So not just share it, but build it. And our faculty are consistently engaged in very sophisticated research across campus. And our undergraduate students have a litany of opportunities to jump right in and to work on cutting edge research projects and to actually get their ideas published in formal journals. And so those two pieces, I think, are just incredible about Niagara. Very strong, long-lasting personal relationships that evolve between students and faculty. And the opportunity for our undergraduate students to work towards generating new knowledge instead of just learning old knowledge. So I hope that's helpful, Trevor. I know you got another question for me that's probably even harder. So I'll do my best.
Okay, let's hit you with the hard question here. So, Dr. Ireland, it seems more and more like today's employers want candidates who possess more of a hands-on experience by the time they graduate from college. Now, I know, difficult question, but can you give our guests a few examples of the many ways that NU offers these opportunities to our undergrads?
Sure. Look, in the classroom, you learn theory, you learn critical thinking, you learn how to effectively communicate, you engage ideas, and then we think at Niagara it's incredibly important that we provide you with opportunities to apply those ideas that we discuss and learn in the classroom out there in what we'll call the real world, right? And so about 3/4 of our students during their time at Niagara have opportunities for experiential learning. It's available to 100% of our students, but for whatever reason, some choose not to take advantage of it. And so you'll have opportunities if you're in social work for practicums. You'll have opportunities if you're in psych for practicums. And the College of Business does wonderful work with their students, and they've developed a program that not only supports the convention mission of the university, but also allows students to apply newly acquired skill sets where they provide free, they process tax returns for free for individuals who are on the margins of life. And it results in hundreds of thousands of dollars being returned to those who take the time to work with our students to get their federal and state taxes filed. We have a food marketing program in the College of Business. And this past year, one of the food marketing students actually ran a soup kitchen in Niagara Falls that was sponsored by the university. And so you can get, irrespective of the major you choose at Niagara, you can get real world experience and an outstanding classroom experience at the same time. So Trevor, I hope those little tidbits of information are helpful. Know that I'll remain on the conference, and when called upon, I'll try to answer any questions that come my way through the chat.
Beautiful answers. It wasn't that hard, I promise. Thank you very much, Dr. Ireland. I am 100% sure we'll be hearing from you again during our live Q&A session later in this event.
That's great, Trevor.
I want to make sure to take a quick moment to let potential future Purple Eagles know that they can get detailed information on specific academic majors by connecting with our faculty during our upcoming series of major discussions. We have 8 of them between July 21st and 28th. You can visit niagara.edu/major discussions to register. Now, we'll turn our attention to what you need to know about admissions and financial aid as part of your college search process. Joining us today for an overview on admissions are our co-directors of first-year enrollment, Stephanie Buschkowski and Ben Asher. Ben, what should our guests know about getting into their best fit college, especially during such an unusual year?
Good morning, everyone. As Trevor said, my name is Ben Asher, one of the directors here in the enrollment offices, and just want to thank you for joining us this morning. What I'll do is I'm going to do just kind of a quick run through of our general admissions, and then Stephanie in a little bit is going to go into some more detail on some specialized programs and things that we do. So a couple of things. The first thing I want you to know is we are a rolling admission university. So pretty much as soon as your senior year starts, you can get your application completed and send that over to us, and we can have you in the system and be able to start reviewing those applications. And we start that process pretty early. So we invite you to get that done earlier, sooner than later, and then you can enjoy some events, some special things that we do on campus to really see who we are. On average, a typical student profile that we would look for is somewhere around a B average, like an 85 average. or higher. And then SAT wise, we'd look kind of north of that 1,000 mark, so like a 1050, and then ACT would be around a 20 or higher. Now, we are a test optional university, so when it comes to your SAT, ACTs, we do not require them for a majority of our programs. There are a few nursing and some of our science courses that majors that still do require those, but for most other programs, we are test optional. One of the other things that I think is unique to us is we will evaluate everything that you put on your application. So we're trying to look at you as a person, and as many others have mentioned today, it is more than just a number. And you're going to hear that a lot when you go to college fairs, when you speak with college representatives. But the big question is, how do they actually interpret that? Most of them are going to just input your numbers into a database, and it's going to tell them if you're accepted or not. What we're going to do is we're going to truly evaluate you as a person, volunteer hours that you've accomplished up till now. And we're going to look at extracurricular activities that you've done, things you've done outside of the classroom. And if your GPA or your SAT scores are not where you want them, we're going to sit down and we're going to work through a plan with you on how we can still potentially admit you to the university and keep you on track for graduation and to accomplish the goals that you have. One of the questions that I saw that I was planning to address that I do want to address really quickly is another unique piece to Niagara is we are going to, when you apply to Niagara, you're not only applying to the university, but you are in fact being admitted into your program as well. So that includes nursing and some other programs like that. So as soon as you're accepted, you'll actually be able to have the opportunity to start in your program right away. Whereas again, with other institutions across the country, you may have to wait a couple of years before you can even begin taking those courses. And we want to start you as early as your freshman year. So it's a unique opportunity to not only get into the university, but to get into your program and start that process right away. The last thing I'll say is each and every one of you is going to have a specific counselor that is dedicated to working with you. We like to get to know our students as much as we can. We want to talk to you. We want to get to know you. We want to know what your goals are, and we want to make sure that we're the right fit for you. You know, we're obviously biased. We'd love to see each and every single one of you here at Niagara University in the coming years. However, the ultimate goal, our role in admissions, is to make sure that we're helping you find the best fit college for you. And we want to do that in any way possible. So please know that we're here to help. Your counselors will be reaching out to you in the coming weeks, in the coming months, to either have a sit down with you via Zoom, maybe somehow meet up in person. However we can do that, we're going to be visiting your schools. So please know we're just here to help. And with that, I want to turn it over to Stephanie Buschkowski, my fellow director in the enrollment offices.
Thank you, Ben, so much for the great information. Welcome, everyone, this morning. We certainly hope that you find this event very helpful and informative. You're getting a lot of information. You're going to be able to walk away with a lot of contacts, a lot of names. So please, use that to your advantage. Call us, text us, whatever you need. We're here during this process for you. With the continuation a little bit about the admission process, there are a couple of things I wanted to focus directly on today. One of them specifically is the nursing program. Nursing, because it is a competitive, it's a little bit different in terms of the admission process, so I wanted to kind of give that a little bit of a spotlight. Nursing is one of our top majors, and for this past year, we offered 90 seats and we processed roughly about 600 plus applications. So as you can tell, it's very popular, and we do recommend applying early because not only because of obviously the amount that we receive, but also because it is competitive. I am the nursing department liaison with the admissions office. So I pretty much see every nursing application that comes through the office. And as Ben had mentioned, everyone does have their own advisor. So we personally, as your counselor, whoever it may be, will personally be reading your application. So it's really our best way to get to know you. And with nursing especially, okay, we have ideal candidate, in terms of what we look for as a baseline for acceptance. So what we'd like to see from nursing roughly is overall average is about a 90 and above. Also, SAT is about 1100 and above, okay? Like I mentioned though, that is ideal. So if you hear those numbers and you're not right at that mark, please don't let that stop you from applying. We are a very holistic, we have a very holistic approach to not only the nursing applications, but all applications across the board. So we will look at everything. If you've had any hands-on experience, we will super score your SAT if you have that opportunity. Even I know with some of the cancellations and things that have happened, we will be meeting with the nursing department to discuss any potential guidelines that we may need to go by with reading the applications for students that had the testing canceled on them. So please stay tuned for that. That should be happening probably around the end of the month. But science scores are also very important, looking at your, that includes health, biology, chemistry, very important. Letters of recommendation, your essay, if you're able to write why you're passionate about nursing, something along those lines, we think is very important. So really just take the time to really, and like I said, not just for nursing, but all the way around, to really sell yourself. Don't sell yourself short on your application. We want to know everything that you've done during your high school career and outside of school. It's all very, very important to us when we're reading everything. So with that being said, also in terms of the admission process, well, also with nursing too, I want to mention it is a direct entry program. It's not a matter of where like you get accepted to the school, but not necessarily the nursing program. You are directly accepted into nursing, and you begin with that curriculum immediately as a freshman. So that's something very important for you to know, especially if you're looking at other schools. Make sure that you're looking at a direct entry program, because that's what we are. So hopefully that's why I hope you end up applying with us, of course. But so to get off that topic with something a little more important as well, with the merit scholarship. So because we are a private school, we automatically will qualify you for merit scholarship money, which is simply based on you and what you've done. Okay, it has nothing to do with financial aid or anything like that. It's strictly just your average and your SAT for ACT score if you are submitting them. The range for this past year started at $10,000 and went all the way up to $23,000 a year. This is guaranteed money all 4 years. We let you know your scholarship amount right along with your acceptance letter, so there's no real waiting game at all. We move pretty quickly. So, and with the rolling admission process, like we were saying before, we process the applications as we're getting them, on a rolling basis. So there's really not much time waiting and to get your decision out to you. First electronically, and then we also do it through regular hard mail as well. So once with getting that, and once everything's complete, it's maybe only about 3 weeks. So I know if you're accepted. So like I said, we move pretty quickly. So it's nice that you have everything rolling smoothly for you. So we know this year, this college search process certainly is probably not what you anticipated, as we did not anticipate this as well. But please know that we are here to push out the best information to you the fastest way possible and the simplest way, so that you feel comfortable with the process and the way things are going. Please stay tuned for the possibility of being able to visit campus soon. We hope you're able to do that, because we know you'll be impressed. As you could hear today, everybody loves campus. It's beautiful, not only location-wise, aesthetically, but also the people. So we really, really look forward to having you on campus. So show your engagement with us, attend virtual events, come visit us, talk to your counselor. All those things really matter. So we look forward to seeing you soon and hopefully seeing your application in the fall.
Thanks, Stephanie and Ben. Our co-directors will be around during our live Q&A session. You can also email our admissions team at niagara.edu. or at admissions@niagara.edu. I'm good, I'm still awake. Our final speaker for today is our Director of Financial Aid, Katie Kosis, who will offer some insight on applying for scholarships and completing the free application for federal student aid. Katie?
Thanks, Trevor. Good morning, everybody. My name is Katie Kosis. As Trevor said, I am the Director of Financial Aid. I'm also a proud alum of Niagara. I went here for both my undergraduate and graduate degrees and haven't left. I've loved it so much. So today I'm actually just going to do a brief overview of some of the financial aid process, some of the high points that I just wanted to highlight for everyone. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that at Niagara, 100% of our freshman students that are incoming to the university receive some type of financial assistance. This is huge because we know that families are looking for college to be affordable, and we try to help students as much as we possibly can. So the fact that 100% of our incoming students do receive that financial assistance is great. Now, Stephanie already touched on it just a few minutes ago, but we do have our merit scholarships, as she mentioned, based upon your admissions application. Again, those currently range from $10,000 to $23,000, and those are awarded through the admissions office, but they forward those on to us so we can put that into part of your financial aid package. If you wish to be considered for any other aid above and beyond your merit scholarship, you do need to file the FAFSA form. As Trevor said, that is the free application for federal student aid. If you are a current junior, well, I suppose will be a senior in the fall, you'll be filling out the 2021-22 FAFSA form. Which kind of blows my mind that we're already into those years, but that's the FAFSA form you'll be filling out. It's available starting October 1st, so really just a few months away, you'll be able to complete that application. Get that in as soon as possible. I recommend having it in by Thanksgiving so that we can combine the FAFSA form and the information along with your admissions acceptance and be able to put together a financial aid package for you. Again, please try to get that done as soon as possible, starting October 1st, so that we can have that over to you. Another thing I wanted to touch upon was that we know that budgeting is very important for all of our families. So one of the things that we do offer, in addition to payment plans, of course, is the level tuition plan, or LTP for short. And what this is, it actually locks your tuition rate in for your 4 consecutive undergraduate years. So you pay, like for instance, this year tuition is $33,700. The level tuition price is $34,200. So just an increase of $500, and that $34,200 for this current year would stay the same for all 4 years. So we don't know the price yet for next year, but know that when you lock in that level tuition price, again, you are guaranteed to have that same price for your all 4 years here. So it's a great way to help budget. We're in our 25th year of offering that plan to students. When I was a student here at Niagara, my parents signed me up for that. And we were able to save a couple thousand back then. So it's something definitely to consider and to think about as you're going along in the process, to know that that's an option for you. Now, I know that there's a lot of questions students might have as you go along. So if you have any, please either feel free to put them in the chat or reach out to my office at any time. We would be happy to help you with any questions you might have. Have a good day.
We hope we've answered some of the questions you've had about what separates Niagara University from any other colleges you may be considering. Should you have any other questions, please reach out to our admissions office at any time or ask them now as we transition to our live question and answer session. Joining us today to respond to your questions are several members from our admissions team, along with representatives from many of our student support services. I'll turn it over to Mike Friedman, our Associate Vice President for Marketing, who has been tracking your questions in the online chat.
Thanks so much, Trevor, and thanks to everyone today for their participation. I know we've been seeing a lot of questions in the chat window. Some of them have already been responded to, but we're going to take some time to address those directly. First things first, please don't forget, as Trevor has mentioned, please put your name and your high school in the chat window. Again, we try to be as personal as possible with everyone who communicates with us, who gets anywhere near our campus, who's interested in learning more about Niagara University, so please do that. A couple of quick questions that I can take to kick us off. Chase had a question about what's the female to male ratio on campus. Chase, it is about 60-40 female to male. And Hallie asked, what is the student to faculty ratio? I know that Dr. Ireland mentioned it, but just wanted to reiterate that we have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio on our campus, which certainly serves our students very well in making sure that you're getting the attention that you deserve to succeed. And quite frankly, in this COVID-19 environment, it also is going to be serving our students very well in knowing that we're prepared to have very small class sizes. We have a very open, suburban, 160-acre campus, so we are very well prepared for social distancing and all of the other health and safety measures that we need to incorporate given the current global environment. So with that being said, we will get started with our Q&A portion. And the first question I am going to ask Virginia Passeri to respond to. Virginia works in our Academic Success Center. And we had a question from Oksana wondering, how is the support system at Niagara University for people who are struggling? So Virginia, can you please take that one for us?
Hi, everybody. I am the coordinator of academic support programs at Niagara University. So my office holds tutoring, writing center, disability services. If you need help in those areas, if you received any services in high school, those usually transfer fairly easily over to Niagara. So we offer tutoring for most 100 and 200 level courses. Some of those are small group tutoring, some are one-on-one, some are drop-in. So if you don't need math help all the time, but there's a test coming up and you just want help for that test, you can pop in and get some help there. Also, if you start to fall behind in work, or you have trouble getting yourself organized, or you have issues with time management, you can always pop in and make an appointment with an academic coach, and we'll help get you set that way. Pretty much you can come to our office and ask us the question. We're the question office, and if we don't have the answers, we'll at least make sure you get pointed in the right direction. But anything you need, feel free. I'll put my email in the chat and you can reach out with any questions. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks, Virginia. Yes, there are a ton of resources available on our campus if the student finds themselves struggling in any way. So rest assured, you will be taken very well care of at NU. Our next question will bring back our provost, Dr. Ireland. He's always a popular respondent during our Q&A sessions. So Dr. Ireland, we have a question wondering if there is a place on campus or places on campus to study if you can't in your residence hall.
Yeah, hey Jenny, what kind of dog you got there barking in the background?
Always, as soon as I get on mute.
Yeah. He sounds like a big guy.
Sorry.
Well, welcome to life in the virtual world, right? So Michael, thanks for that question, or the prospective student that posed it. Thanks for that question. What I like to talk about is informal learning space on campus, right? So these are places on campus intentionally designed to allow students to study outside of the residence halls, either individually or in groups. One of the hallmarks of that NU's commitment to informal learning spaces is our library, which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It means the students can, with their ID, swipe into the library and establish a workspace for as long as they need it in a 24-hour window. Each of our classroom buildings across campus have wonderful informal learning spaces throughout, and it's also true that lower level Gallagher, where there are kind of our Tim Hortons cafe is located. There are a whole litany of spaces set up for students to come together and work either individually or collectively on projects. So,
thanks very much, Dr. Ireland. Coming up next, we will bring Ben Asher from our admissions team back on. A question from Shayna. If a student gets accepted into NU, are they automatically accepted into their major as well? Ben, please.
Hello again. So happy to be back. Makes me feel privileged or important, one of the two. So the answer to the question, the simple answer is yes. As you apply, you'll be directly admitted into your program, whether it's nursing, biology, criminal justice, anything like that. There are a couple things that I would kind of put into that as well. One thing that we offer at Niagara that we haven't quite mentioned yet is our academic exploration program, which is a program where you would still be automatically accepted into it, but it is designed for students who are not quite sure what they want to study. So while you are accepted into that, you would not quite yet be in a full major yet. But that program, it's an award-winning program. I believe somewhere around 20% of our students that come to Niagara will start in that program. And it's an amazing program. You can go anywhere in the world, any college across the country for the most part, and be undecided. But it's a matter of what they're going to do to help support you in finding the best fit and best major for you. And what we're going to do is a variety of things. We're going to have you sit down with they're going to sit down with your advisor. You're going to talk through what your goals are, what your interests are, what your strengths, what your weaknesses are. They're going to have you go to a career fair, meet individuals from a variety of different programs, different careers, and begin that exploration process of figuring exactly out what you want to do. Maybe you have an idea, but you're not solid on it yet. Academic exploration is a great place to start. It really is an amazing program. You can be in it for up to 2 years and still come out of it and be on time for graduation within 4 years. Truly something, to consider if you're back and forth on what you want to major in. And it doesn't negate you from doing a major and a minor either. Maybe you're just trying to figure some things out and you can do a lot in that program. So the short answer, yes, you'll be automatically accepted into your program. But if you are undecided, we're going to put you in an award-winning program that's designed to help figure things out for you so you can move smoothly into your career path.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ben. And thanks for the information about academic exploration. Just another quick plug. Trevor mentioned earlier that we are going to be having a series of upcoming programs where you can really dive much deeper into several of our academic programs. And that series actually kicks off with our academic exploration program. So on July 21st at 4 o'clock, we'll be having an opportunity for you to meet directly with Carolyn Mackey, who oversees AEP, and you can ask any questions that you could possibly have about how and why this program is so highly regarded and why you shouldn't be overly concerned if you are going to be beginning college without knowing exactly what you want to major in. It really is an incredible program, and it helps to align your talents and interests with what the job market is. So I would encourage you to attend that event and the several other major discussions that will be coming up right after. Next up on our list, we're going to shift to study abroad and welcome Dr. Debra Curtis, who is our world traveler on campus. And I'm hoping that Dr. Curtis can dive in to talk to us about what are some of the study abroad opportunities that are offered at Niagara University, and how do those experiences help prepare our students to become what we call citizens of the world.
Well, thanks, Mike. There is no greater time to show the importance of international and internationalization than right now during COVID. Once we start traveling again, which hopefully will be soon, study abroad is one of those high impact practices. Like it's been said before, research is a high impact practice. Internships are high impact practices. Things that set you apart. When you go to apply for a job, people are looking at a certain, not just skill set, but ability. And the way things are is that you will either be working with someone from another country, you'll be working for someone from another country, or you'll be working in another country. So internationalization is huge. Study abroad is, in a word, diverse. There's opportunities for every major in virtually every location around the world and every length of time. So whether this is your first time traveling and you want the security of having it be a capstone trip with a faculty, we call it a faculty-led trip, and you go for perhaps 2 or 3 weeks at the end of a semester to London to study the financial markets, or you go to Ireland to look at how they handle security issues. You could do something like that, or you could go for an entire year to a country that speaks another language and learn that language while you're there. So it's extremely diverse offerings, and we are working on in our office that 100% of our students will have the ability to travel abroad, so to study abroad. And that may be on a something doing impact work, or it all makes an impact, but some that'll be doing more of the volunteer type things. some that will be taking academic courses, but we're removing every barrier, the barrier of finance, the barrier of time. Oh, you're a D1 athlete, you don't have the time, or your rigor of your program like nursing. So there is many, many opportunities, and I encourage everyone to stop by our office once they start at NU, or to send me an email asking questions specifically. I'll put it up in the chat box. So study abroad, you won't regret it. It'll definitely be one of the highlights of your time at Niagara, and it will be one of the big factors in helping you get the job of your interest.
Thanks so much, Dr. Curtis. And there is no better fitting virtual background for anyone than Dr. Curtis on an airplane. When you are considering colleges and universities, one of the big things you're thinking about, obviously, is the end game. Are you going to get a job? We take great pride in making sure that our graduates get into jobs or graduate school as soon as possible. And when we say as soon as possible, we mean on time and in 4 years. So I would like to bring our president back on, Father Marr, because this commitment really starts at the top. And I'd like Father to just talk about our real commitment, almost a promise that we are going to make every effort to get you through college, have a wonderful experience, and get you out into graduate school or into the job market in 4 years. Father, please.
Thanks, Mike, and delighted to take that question. Just so that you know, working with Dr. Tim Ireland and his team, Tony Knight, and the deans and the associate deans, we've been able to move our 6-year graduation rate in the last 7 years. This year, the graduation rate will be 76.5 right now, could go higher, but over the 70th percentile, which is in the top 20 to 25 percentile of the United States right now. And so there's great work really that's been done to be able to help students get across the finish line. So, you know, what I look at, right, is the best predictors of graduation are your recruitment cycle and students that really fit at Niagara, who are really academically attuned, they're civically engaged, they're campus leaders, and really to move our freshman retention number, we've been able to move that, 4 points pretty steadily in the last 7 years, from 80% to 84%, and then our graduation rates follow. So pardon me, my goal is really to get it to 80%, but we've moved in the last 7 years from around 65% to over 70%. And that's my commitment. And I think that's one of the distinctions when we often talk about the return on investment that you and your families make to come to Niagara, is career development, career pathways, that you come out with a really, really great plan for your career and a job in graduate school to start out that plan, but that you also have a great academic experience here at the university, that you're fully engaged with your professors, your classmates, the administrators, the entire university community, and you're progressing. We have a number of our students, honestly, who graduate before 4 years because they come in with credits from high school that we accept. And we look at that as a very, very positive thing as well. So the proof in the pudding is we've been able to move the number about 7 points in the last 7 years. And we want to move in another 7 points in the next 4 to 5 years. So, and we think that's a great, great deliverance on our promise to you and to your families of not only providing you a great experience, but retention, graduation, career placement, all those things we remain committed to as we go forward. So, so thank you for the great question.
Thanks, Father. And Father mentioned our commitment to postgraduate success and pathways. And so that is a perfect segue to our next panelist who we have on today, Stephanie Morris, who is the Director of Career Services. And so I would like to turn the spotlight over to Stephanie to talk about what exactly is Pathways and what are some of the resources that are available to students beginning right from freshman year at NU.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here and see all of you and talk to you a little bit about how Career Services supports our students. So it's been mentioned a couple of times today. Our Pathways program is certainly our process for assisting you. It is a 4-year or 4-step developmental process. I can say that one of the things that makes Niagara unique to other places is that we're always going to meet students where they're at. So, you know, we strive to bring you into our office that first year that you're on campus. We certainly engage through coursework, through the NUB program. But also if you come to campus and you're just trying to figure out lay of the land, we're always there to support you when you're ready to meet with us. So through the Pathways process, you'll have an opportunity to come up with a personalized career development plan. And so when we use the word career, that could be job, that could be, you know, you're going to go on to graduate school. It could be a variety of things. And so we work with you from day one. We'll work to assess what your skill set is, maybe where are some of the areas that you need to develop more, and come up with a plan to get you to that end goal. So through this process, we help with resume preparation, interview preparation. We will connect you to our alumni network. By junior year, students are ready to complete internships. And so we are proud to say that most Niagara students complete more than one internship. And we find that internships either confirm what you thought you wanted to do, or sometimes they really do open your eyes to other opportunities that you didn't know exist. And so the goal is that by the time you're entering your senior year, by the time you walk across stage for graduation, that you have either secured a job or you have been accepted to the graduate school of your choice. Some of the other things that our office does to support students is we are part of the federal work study placement process. So where federal work study is managed through financial aid, the offices that you will be assigned to for your position is managed through the career office. And so through that process, that audience of federal work study students begins the pathway process just through the application for federal work study. We also host a number of events each year. We've definitely been able to pivot and do some different things when it comes to hosting virtual events. And so we do a lot of industry specific career fairs, but now we're also focusing on industry panels. And so being a little bit in the virtual space and a little bit in person is giving us an opportunity to bring in people from all over the country, where when we were just hosting events in person, we were, you know, somewhat limited at times to local resources, but now our resources span. We are proud to say we bring about 300 employers on campus every year. So chances of you not having a wide network when you graduate is pretty slim. So we look forward to hearing from any of you. If you have any questions, I did put my information in the chat box. Feel free to send me an email, pop it in the chat, but we hope that we get to see you all soon.
Thank you, Stephanie. We have several current Niagara University students on with us today, as you've seen in the chat window, and I'd like to bring one of them on camera now, Nathaniel Johnson, who is quite active on our campus, and especially within our new Esports club. So we'll turn our attention to some of the extracurriculars that we offer at Niagara. And so Nathaniel, I'm hoping you can come on for a minute and talk about esports and the new facilities that we have on campus, please.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Sorry that my microphone isn't the best in the world. I'm trying to get a new one currently. But I'm a member of Niagara University Esports, which is it's actually the newest club sport on the university. And we actually have 4 primary teams consisting of Overwatch, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Rocket League. Although members of people just like to play games or have fun or find a good place to spend time with other people, they're also welcome to join the club as well. To host our new facilities, we have a new area of the campus that is open in one of the dorms, one of the freshman dorms that is referred to as the Nest, which is a state-of-the-art facility complete with several extremely large 1080p high definition TVs, the smallest of which are around 80 inches and the largest of which are in the 90s. And then we also have our own private esports gaming lounge, which consists of 12 state-of-the-art computers along with 3 other TVs. You aren't required to be part of esports to go to the lounge. It is a great place to go spend time studying, charge your phone, hang out with friends on the weekends. It's a very universal place to be. The food truck that sometimes comes on the weekends is right outside. They park there and you can get buffalo wings and fries and all sorts of good stuff there. But it's a very open place where a lot of events can take place. Say if you wanted to be part of a club and you wanted to host an event there, the Nest is a great place to do that because it's open, it has lots of places to sit, but also a lot of places to stand. Then right next door, if you're into being a part of the esports club, they have a place to do that as well. NU is super open with clubs. It's a great place to be. I'm a transfer student that used to go to SUNY Geneseo, which was also a wonderful school. But I can tell you that the ability to do what you want to do at Niagara and make the things that you want a reality is second to none. There is simply no other school that is just as open and as willing to work with you to create clubs and organizations that will help you accomplish not only your dreams in school, but what you are aiming to do after you graduate from Niagara University. Thank you all.
Thanks, Nathaniel. We've come a heck of a long way since my college days of playing the original PlayStation on a 24-inch tube TV. And Nathaniel mentioned that there are numerous opportunities to get involved in clubs and activities on our campus, which leads me right to the next person who we'll bring on, and that is Bill Newton, our Assistant Director of Campus Activities. Bill, I'm hoping that you can give our guests a sense of what are some of the more popular clubs on campus in addition to esports, and then in the rare instances where we don't offer something that a student is interested in, what can they do to make that a reality?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Nathaniel, you kind of stole my thunder there, but that's more than fine. So really, as Nathaniel said, our esports club is certainly on the rise, and we have a brand new space, which is pretty awesome. But in general, so there is always something to do at Niagara. We have over 100 clubs and organizations, honor societies, club sports, academic clubs, social justice clubs, to join. So, certainly we can get that information to you. It is on our website to kind of scroll through the list and see what we have. And so those are great opportunities to not only do something that hopefully you're interested in or that you hope that you're interested in, but to make friends, to get connected to the university, and to get some real valuable experience. Certainly there is a major tie to what Stephanie was talking about earlier with your career and your career aspirations. So we have a lot of academic clubs that you will hear from people in the profession that you're searching for. So whether that's being a teacher or working corporately in a hotel or owning your own business, we have clubs for all of that. So we recommend right off the bat that you join at least 2 clubs, one that's tied to your major, so you can get those experiences and meet those kind of students. And 2, join a club that is fun. We all need these outlets. We all need to, so whether that's joining the club basketball team or, because it's something you did in high school or just attending events. So there's a few students on the call today that are involved in student clubs and organizations. Some of them have been introducing themselves in the chat. They've taken advantage of the Niagara experience, and we want you to do the same. And last but not least, Niagara's a place that you need to feel that sense of pride, right? We call it purple pride on campus. It gets you that much more connected to campus. And if there's anything that can prove that today, it is my friend Monty here who is hanging out with me. Specially made just for Niagara. He's loving life. But Mike, you also mentioned about, if you see our club list and you're not sure, or you're doing something now in high school that you don't see on the list, and it does happen. We get usually about 5 to 10 new clubs that start every year. So 2 years ago, it was the Esports Club. for example. So that's a pretty simple process. You just reach out to me and we have a meeting. We talk about what that club is, you just do an interest meeting, just need a minimum amount of students to be interested in it. And we get you going on your way as far as getting connected with our student government for those resources. And there you go. Now you can leave your legacy on campus, which is also pretty cool.
Thanks so much to Bill, who is affectionately known at NU as the Dean of Fun. And now we will talk to the Dean/Director of Financial Aid, who you met earlier, Katie Kosis. And Katie, I know that you gave a brief overview of financial aid earlier. I just wanted to make sure that we address a question that we received from Hallie, who was wondering about are there opportunities for academic and athletic scholarships, and maybe if we could take that one step further and give our guests an idea of how they find out more information about what is available.
Sure. Yeah, so I touched briefly on the merit scholarships earlier. Those are through the admissions application. We do offer athletic scholarships. Those are actually selected, or the recipients are selected by the coaches of each sport. So you really have to work with the coaches, and then they will let my office know if you do receive an athletic scholarship, and we would put that as part of your financial aid package. As far as any other scholarships and grants, again, the main driver is that FAFSA form. A lot of it the scholarships that we do offer are based upon the results of the FAFSA, but we actually have our very own endowed scholarship portal that students can actually go and view. We have over 200 out there. Some of them have very specific criteria. You have to go to a specific high school or a specific church or be from a specific ethnic background. There's a ton out there, that a lot of them that we just wouldn't know based upon what you have on your admissions application. So you definitely kind of have to raise your hand a little bit. So once you're an accepted student, you have the ability to view and apply for those, and then those are selected all throughout the year and could be part of your financial aid package as well.
Excellent, Katie, thank you. Let's bring back Dr. Barnwell. We had, I know, a question that he answered already in the chat window, but I'd like to bring on Dr. Barnwell to talk a little bit more about what the honors program is at Niagara University, and then maybe even quickly dive into one of my favorite events of the year, the Undergraduate Research Conference. Dr. Barnwell.
Sure. So yeah, there's sometimes some confusion about the honors program. I know in many high schools there are honors clubs, and all it basically amounts to is maybe an afternoon where everyone gets together with your parents and they tell you how great you are and you have punch and cookies. And those are great experiences too, but our honors program is a little different. It's a curricular program, and what it involves is, while you're going through your coursework, several of your general education classes, so those are your philosophies, religions, history, those kinds of classes that really give you the broader soft skills of how to learn and how to be flexible, how to communicate, how to think. Many of those classes you'll take in even smaller classrooms with fewer students and just with other honor students. They're taught differently. They're taught at I won't say a more difficult level, but just in a different way, so you can get more out of those classes. And then your senior year, you're able to work for the entire year one-on-one with a faculty member doing your own original research. So several of us have mentioned the importance of doing research before and how it really makes you different. Honor students coming out of Niagara, you've actually published a mini master's level thesis by the time you graduated. So when you're going to graduate school or you're going to apply for a job and they ask you what makes you different, you won't say, well, it's just simply your grades, because as I mentioned earlier, many people will have good grades. You'll have actually done original research in the field. And some of the things our students have produced have been amazing. One student even built her own water sampler and took it out on a boat into Lake Erie and sampled water and did original research about the algae that's growing in Lake Erie. So that's just one example of some of the original research that people do and how they have been creative to build their own tools to do it. And every year, Michael mentioned one of his favorite days of the year. At the end of the semester, at the end of the school year, we have what's called the Undergraduate Research Conference, and where all the students who have done research, whether they're honor students or not honor students, any students who have done original research and want to present it to the community, we have a whole day set aside where we have panel presentations, or we have a large poster session where students are presenting this original research. And you can go through, and I think we usually have about 100 participants who present their original research. You walk through, you see these posters, and several of them you would think they were professionally done. It's just really amazing the in-depth level that these students get at to do their original research. If you go on our website, niagara.edu/honors, I think there's a video documenting some of our past undergraduate research conference days. And even this year with the pandemic, I had originally just assumed we weren't going to be able to do the undergraduate research conference. And I started getting emails from students and faculty saying, can we still present our research somehow? And we actually did a virtual undergraduate research conference, and the ones that were submitted on that were just amazing. So research is sort of woven into the curriculum of Niagara, and especially of the honors program. And that's what really distinguishes the honors program in a large way. So
really is an incredible program, and thanks so much, Dr. Barnwell. I want to quickly, or not quickly bring on, but quickly acknowledge, you saw in the chat window, Dr. Young-Soo Choi, the current Dean of our College of Hospitality and Tourism Management, is on with us today, and he's offered to take any questions that you have. He gave his email address, so thank you, Dr. Choi, for doing that. And I wanted to remind you that you can speak directly with Dr. Choi and some of the faculty and students in our College of Hospitality and Tourism Management on July 23rd at 6 p.m. And again, you can find this event on our list at niagara.edu/major discussions. You can learn more about programs like sport management and hotel operations. You can aspire to be like Trevor, and with the way he's handled hosting our program today, who wouldn't want to? Let's bring on one more of our very impressive students, Jordan Stolting, who I guess I should be calling a graduate at this point. It's hard to get used to that. Jordan just graduated in May with a degree in computer and information sciences. He's going to be pursuing a graduate degree now at NU in cybersecurity. And I would like to ask Jordan to share his experiences as a commuter student at Niagara University. Jordan, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Michael. So being a commuter student was a personal choice that I wanted to do when I set out to go to college. And out of all the different local schools that I was looking for, I thought Niagara was going to be the best one because I actually was originally going to go into criminal justice, but then that wasn't necessarily a passion that I had when going into college. And then I decided to do computer science. And so I think just going to NU has been a very good choice, and being a commuter student really hasn't hindered my experience of being a student or like participating in the things that are on campus. I think one question that a lot of people have when becoming a commuter is they feel like they're going to be left out of things, or they feel like, you know, because I'm a commuter student, I'm not going to get as many opportunities as people who are living on campus, but that's just simply not true. At NU, we do try to ensure that we include everybody in everything and all activities. All clubs are open to all students. There's no way that, you know, you're going to be left out if you're going to be a commuter. And it's all about what you're willing to put in. Like, there's obviously a lot of opportunity. There's a little bit more opportunities for resident students to be a part of campus because they don't have to drive home every night. But I also know that there's a lot of students who are commuters on campus who are way more involved than some people who live on the campus. So it's all about the time you're willing to put in to the campus and how much effort you're willing to give to, you know, being a part of the different clubs, being on a sport. For myself, I do this at admissions. I go to all the events. I work very closely with admissions office. And I also am a part of the Esports program along with Nathaniel. And sometimes I'm on campus until, or at least the past 2 semesters, I was on campus until very late hours of the morning because I was in the New Nest Lounge with my team. And it was always a lot of fun, and I didn't mind driving home at night because it was only a 15-minute drive for me. But being a commuter has always been very nice for me. Not only does it allow me to stay at my house, but it also is a good way for me to have saved money over the years, not having to pay for dorms. But I always do recommend, even if you are living on campus, or even if you are thinking about being a commuter, is, if you're at all, going in between living on campus or being a commuter, one of the nice things about NU is they actually allow you to stay in the dorms overnight for summer orientation. Unfortunately, they couldn't do that this year because of everything that was happening, but there is a lot of opportunities for you to be able to test out living in the dorms or staying at home. But I can say that being a commuter, you're never going to be left out, and you're always going to have something to do on campus. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jordan. I'm always impressed by the ability of our campus community to certainly make commuter students feel just as welcome as anyone else who comes to our campus, and you heard that directly from Jordan. We're going to answer a couple of more questions today as we're pushing 90 minutes, and we know that people have other things to do on a Saturday, even though it looks like it might start raining outside, at least around our campus. But I want to bring in one more student, Emily DiMaria, and again, I need to start calling her a graduate because she just completed a degree in marketing this past May. Emily is a graduate of Hilton High School, so just outside of Rochester, about 90 minutes away. And so we're going to turn the camera to Emily and ask her to touch on her experience as a student who comes from slightly out of the area, and then share the good news that she received in the mail this week. Emily.
Hello, everybody. As Mike just said, I am from the Rochester area, so I live about an hour and a half from Niagara. Being a student living a little bit outside of campus has been an awesome experience, and I've been lucky enough to live on campus for my last 4 years. I've been a community advisor for a few of those years, so we call them CAs at Niagara instead of RAs, and that's been a really awesome experience living in the residence halls, being able to go to a lot of different events and make a ton of new friends. And also, I have been involved in many different clubs and organizations on campus, so as Bill had talked about, we have so many amazing things at Niagara for all students to take advantage of. I've been a big part of our campus program board and our student government association, so being able to advocate for all of the students and plan a lot of great events to keep people engaged. And I really never felt the need to go home every weekend. I've been very content and having so much fun just staying on campus and going to all the different events. We have different bus trips that we provide on the weekends, so you'll never be bored and there's always something to do, whether that's on campus or we also have so many different things off of campus in the Lewiston and Niagara Falls area. And as Mike said, I did receive something in the mail today, so let me show you guys. Your girl has a diploma. Look at that. How exciting. So yeah, that's my little Niagara experience summed up for you.
Congratulations, Emily, well deserved. Before we close today, I would like to bring on Sean Donahue. For those of you who don't know, we have a really highly regarded Army ROTC program on our campus, another integral part of a very well-rounded campus community. So Sean, can you please give our guests an overview of ROTC at NU?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. I'm Sean Donahue. I'm the enrollment officer here at Niagara University Army ROTC. The Army ROTC program, ROTC stands for Reserve Officer Training Corps. And basically what we do is we train students, full-time academic students at Niagara University to be future leaders as Army officers in either the Army National Guard, Army Reserve, or active duty. So the students or cadets have that choice upon graduation in which direction they choose. The Army ROTC program at Niagara has been in existence for over 80 years, and we've been consistently ranked in the top 10% of over 274 programs in our brigade. It's a academic minor at Niagara University, so it does not initially take a lot of time as a freshman and sophomore, but the time commitment does build as you become basically the leader of the battalion in your junior and senior years. And upon graduation from Niagara University, as I mentioned before, you can select to go into the Army National Guard or Army Reserve, which is a part-time commitment. And that's what I'm in. I'm in the New York Army National Guard, and I serve 2 weeks during the summer and 1 weekend a month. Or you could elect to go active duty, and that's a full-time commitment. And you can do that for a duration of 4 years or longer, an entire career. Many of our cadre are career Army officers or NCOs, non-commissioned officers. And so there's a lot of opportunities by combining your Niagara education with the ROTC program. You're guaranteed a job automatically upon graduation, either part-time to supplement your civilian position, or as I said, you can go active duty, and that's a full-time commitment. This year, our incoming freshman class, which I'm excited about, has a number of legacy students. So the question today has been, why Niagara University? And that having legacy students, meaning graduates of our program whose siblings come to Niagara, really tells a strong story about the commitment that Niagara has in educating the student, and then the commitment after graduation. And that's the primary reason why many of our alumni end up having siblings come to Niagara. And it's one of the few schools that I see that, perpetuate. It keeps going on and on because of Niagara's commitment to education. And you'll really feel that the warmth that everyone at Niagara has towards all of the community at Niagara. Thank you, Mike. If anyone has any questions, please check out the Niagara site and also the Niagara Army ROTC site. And you can email me if you have any questions. As a rising high school senior, you can apply for an ROTC scholarship online, and I can provide you with those details to help supplement your the financial aid that you receive. Thanks again, Mike. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. That was a lot of helpful information, and I hope you all found that to be beneficial. Since we're sure you will have additional questions, we invite you to check out a series of videos that we're calling Virtual Table Talk. You can view these videos at niagara.edu/tabletalk. And again, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to admissions if you have any questions about anything. We are all happy to be here to help you out and answer any questions you might have. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please stay healthy and safe. We hope to see you at Niagara University soon. Take care.